Welcome back to Call of Cthulhu on the CT Avis channel. I am CT Avis, and these are our keeper, John Aiken, and the rest of the investigators. This channel is not always Wednesdays with Call of Cthulhu. Sometimes it's Tuesdays with Maury. No, sometimes it is Wednesdays with fifth edition Dungeons and Dragons, where we have a campaign called Etherflux Hunters, which is Dungeons and Dragons in space with bounty hunters. And it's been a long time since I said that. So we are looking to get back into that coming up in the new year. But first, we have some unfinished business to attend to in a old haunted house in Massachusetts. So, John, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, hi. Welcome back to a very special Call of Cthulhu, the holiday special, part 3 in 3D. We have tonight, I am John. I am the keeper of arcane lore. That is the same as a dungeon master, referee, games master, whatever. And I have joining me are some of my friends. We have Matt Trombley playing Professor Dr. Granville, the parapsychologist slash occultist. We have Bob playing Brick McAllister, the great a veteran of the Great War, veteran of the Psychic Wars. Then we have Tim, who's playing Anton Kuznetsov, the Pennsylvanian pilot slash mechanic. We have CT Avis, Chris playing Sam Slade, the private investigator. And last but not least, we have Justin Riddle playing Larson Shane, the bootlegger. Let's see. Where were we? Yes. Allow me to pull up my notes because I was totally ready.
Hold on 1 second.
I am holding on.
Okay, we look good. I thought I saw a hiccup for a second there. Okay, go ahead.
Of course you look it. Hey, speaking of, I forgot to show off my shirt. May as well do it now on stream. Yeah, a little Coca-Cola Santa Claus for you. Okay, so we last left our investigators investigating the house of Aunt Eliza Hemlock, the aunt of one Larson Shane, our bootlegging investigator. A lot of shenanigans, almost too much for me to really run down as a synopsis. So we are just going to dive right into it. At the very end of the last session, the investigators found themselves sort of going through what seemed like different realities, ultimately finding themselves back in the Hemlock house, but this time in a state of disrepair and abandonment. They found Larson Shane's body lying on the floor with the back of his skull surgically peeled, or the back of his scalp rather, surgically peeled open, and with 4 creatures standing over him with a strange cylindrical shaped device near him. They also found an odd device in the study across the hall, kind of across the hall, kitty corner, that was emitting a strange sound and gave all of the investigators a strange and uneasy feeling. So we will pick up right there with just a brief description of what they see before them. What stands before you defies easy description. Fungal, insect-like, and utterly alien. Its body looks grown rather than built, rigid and rubbery, with jointed limbs that end in delicate, clawed manipulators. Translucent wings shudder and buzz behind it, shedding a faint, powdery dust into the air. There is no true face, only shifting folds and sensory organs that suggest awareness without expression. Its presence brings a thin, vibrating hum that seems to press against your thoughts rather than your ears. Your mind struggles to settle on what you're seeing as if reality itself refuses to agree on its shape. This thing was never meant to be understood at a glance, and it knows it. And that really should have been plural because there are two crouched over the body of Larson, and there are two standing nearby. If anybody is looking at the map, I will use Larson's icon here. I'm going to add that to the map just as a way to show locationally where everything is. There is a Christmas tree that is not printed on the map that is next to this old beat up couch between that and the fireplace. There's a fireplace that sort of bisects this room from the dining room, and that was the room where all the investigators were eating in a couple of sessions ago. And like I said, there are four creatures hovering over it. However, to start, Larson. So everybody should have healed at the end of the last session, right? Or
I
at
was
the end
unclear
when
as to how much healing I got back. I'm still at 9 hit points.
you're back to what you started the adventure with.
I think that was 9
So
hit
if you
points.
had some damage prior, um,
Myself included.
except for Larson. Larson, you are currently, I think, at 8 hit points. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Yeah, you have taken an additional 3 points of damage. You are now down to 5.
Oh. Leave my noggin alone.
And upon seeing these creatures, I would like everybody to start this session by making a sanity check, please.
I feel like I'm probably going to fail
Oh,
this because
you
I'm
don't
failing
say.
it in real life. Yep, I was right.
Uh,
Done right.
I don't have to
Reading.
make it because I'm unconscious.
That is true. Larson, you are exempt.
I don't have to roll a sanity check for this horror because I'm part of this horror.
All right, how did we do? We've got going backwards: Brick, hard success; Granville, hard success; Slade, failure; Anton, success. Okay, so everybody who succeeded takes 1 point of sanity. So that would be everybody except for Sam. Again, Larson, you are excluded. Let me recalculate a few things here.
All right. Sanity adjustment. There goes some more of my sanity.
Sam, I need you to roll a 1d6.
I don't want to. I can't spend luck on this, right?
You cannot. I cannot. No, you cannot.
Tree.
So you take 3 points of sanity.
Well,
So, unfortunately, what this means is Brick, Anton, and Sam all need to roll for me an intelligence check, and this is the one you should probably want to fail.
But I'm really smart.
That's kind of the problem.
He's not an onion.
So, Anton, we'll start with you. Anton, you see these creatures and you just feel this odd sense that it's something familiar about their presence. You've never seen these things before, but there's something oddly familiar about the way you feel being in their presence. Um, so much so that you kind of aren't even sure that the surroundings that you're in right now, the abandoned house, you're not even sure if that is real anymore. Um, However, as you start to struggle with it, you can kind of feel your head start to pound. You sort of give it a shake, and even though it starts to make you feel physically uneasy, um, you kind of shake that feeling out of your head. Sam and Brick, I will need you both to roll something for me here. So what is basically happening is your minds at this point are struggling with the concept of what you're seeing. You know for a fact that what you're seeing just can't possibly exist. You've never encountered something like this before. Although you've both encountered weird things at some point in the past, you've never encountered these. And it's just seeing it gives you an extreme headache to the point where both of you just profusely vomit the rest of what you had for dinner. Now, dinner went down initially tasty, but didn't stay that way. Now, what comes up is this rubbery, tasteless mass filled with bile. On top of that, I need both of you to roll a 1d10.
Nine.
Okay, we'll
And
start
8.
with Brick.
I don't like it.
Brick, roll a 1d10 for me. Oh,
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, awesome. I know it's terrible.
yeah. So, so that is a duration of time. You find yourself completely incapacitated from, and I'm going to give you a choice, so you can choose what it is, from laughing, crying, screaming, or something hysterical, or some sort of emotional outburst that lasts for 10 game rounds, which is sort of an undefined concept, but in general,
Right.
if we're in combat, that would be 10 combat rounds. We're out of combat presently. Who knows what's going to happen in just a moment? Um, so, how do you think Brick is reacting to something like this? How would you
I
describe it?
imagine that it's kind of shell shock. He's reverted back to being back in the trenches, and he is paralyzed with not just fear, but um, the unfamiliarity. He does not know how to react. He has no idea how to do any of this. Doesn't. He can't even comprehend what's going on.
All right, I like it.
Everything is shut off. He cannot really see. He can't really hear. Everything. It's like the tinnitus is going. He's got the high pitched whine. He's just like, yeah, everything's just floating around in front of him. He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I imagine whether or not you're actually physically screaming, that you can hear yourself screaming inside your head as you
Right.
remember what it looked like to see some of your fellow Marines get blown apart as some of them tried to exit the trenches or even just tried to take cover with the bombs landing on top of them. And
Right.
just those images are now reverberating inside your memories.
He also
Uh,
shadowed the medics, so he kind of saw that edge of the horror too.
Before we see how anybody else reacts to seeing you like this, Slade, you rolled a 9. If you could roll a D100 for me, please.
You only had to roll a d10. Now, wait a minute.
It's a different table.
God damn it. Hey, my old jersey number, 44.
44. Let's see. So Larson is on the ground. Currently, Brick is having fits of hysteria. Granville somehow seems to be holding it together, even though right now, Granville, we'll come back to Slade. Granville, you see Larson, but from the back of his skull, where his scalp is peeled aside, you see something moving a little bit. There's something weird and uneasy about it. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden, please.
Spot hidden. Okay. It's towards the bottom of the list. Okay, there we go. Spot hidden. No. I got
Yeah,
an
no,
83 with a target of 55, so that's a failure.
that's all right. What you see looks like the scalp peels open even more, and a large. You think it's a pike. A large, toothy fish just starts to flop slowly out of the back of Larson's skull. And it doesn't even seem possible. There's no hole there, just his skull. But yet you see this fish that starts squirming its way out and flopping onto Larson's back. And as you're trying to realize what's actually happening, you see an entire school of tadpoles just come just squirming out in a almost like a puddle. That in a puddle of like slime or sludge just comes pouring out of the back of Larson's head, and now his back and his sides and the sides of his head are covered in these tadpoles that just keep wriggling and flapping about, while this pike keeps flapping itself sideways on Larson's back.
The human mind is an incredible thing. Granville sees all of that, and he must know in his heart that that's madness, but there's the part of the brain that tries to
Yes.
rationalize anything, and he just thinks to himself, well, I didn't know that Larson was much of a fisherman.
You,
Just
This-
like
and
trying to grasp onto any sane thought.
Wasn't Granville the one that had the delusions of the fish in the previous thing?
yes,
That's right.
yes, he is currently
Yes,
suffering.
when we were
from-
all having an out-of-body experience.
Yep, he's currently suffering from ichthyomania, which has not been resolved and won't be before the end of this adventure, unfortunately. However, you're absolutely right. You know better. You absolutely know what you're seeing is not real. However, you can't help but see it. So you know it's not driving you any crazier, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
But you know what you're seeing is not real. But it's there. You see it. Anton, you can see everybody. Again, Slade, we'll come back to you in just a sec.
No, that's
Anton,
okay.
you can see all this happening. What do you do? Now, this is all sort of immediate. Obviously, there's 4 creatures standing here. You guys are face to face. There's been no time to really react to that. This is all happening as soon as you see them. So, Anton, how do you react? What are you doing?
who- Are they? I'm trying to remember. Are they on Larson?
The 2 of them are sort of crouched as much as they, can physically look like they're crouching on either side of him. 2 of them are nearby.
How far away am I from Larson?
All of you are just basically into the doorway. So I can't remember if I can remember how to ping, but
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
about there. If you can see that on the map. You see a look in Sam's eyes that he has a look of absolute and sheer terror. You can even see he's starting to, you
Yeah.
can see beads of sweat forming on his brow. You see Brick um, putting his hands, I'm assuming, like on either sides of his ears, trying to what look like drown out whatever he's hearing. You see Granville sort of methodically sort of studying whatever is he sees on Larson and sort of nodding his head, but also shaking his head at the same time.
Grab, I would assume whoever's on either side of me, like Sam and Brick or whatever, and just like shake their, you can't see it because, but shake their, grab their arms and just kind of shake them both. We have to get Larson.
The moment you touch Brick, you probably don't even feel this touch right now. But the moment you also reach out and touch Sam, you have an immediate and sort of catastrophic recoil. Not only do you swat Anton's hand away, actually, go ahead and give me a brawl check, please.
I don't wear a bra.
Well, that's why we got to do the check to make sure.
There is no brawl.
It would be, what is that called?
Yeah, isn't it brawl?
Is there?
Yeah, there's fighting brawl, maybe.
Fighting
Oh.
brawl.
Could be
yeah.
under.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it'd be under F instead of. But yeah, it's a thing.
Yes.
Oh, I hit
sorry
him.
about that.
A hard success. Great.
Holy shit.
Let's go. Hard fist success.
So, Anton, you do have an opportunity to, I mean, you can choose, like a regular fight, you can choose to fight back, you can choose to dodge, you can choose to do a special maneuver, which is like a subdue. If you're going to try and like dodge or subdue, you're going to want to roll fighting brawl, but you're going to need to better a hard success.
Oh, I think that's almost possible. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna try to not get hit, so try to like evade it.
Okay. We'll go ahead and do, yep.
Nope.
So we've got a regular success. You can, I don't know how good your roll is. Looks like 28 for 48, but to get oh no, I think you'll need a lot more than just
Yeah.
yeah. Because you would need to get an extreme success, and that's a 9. So,
Yeah. No.
yeah, to get to that would be way too many points to spend, unless you want to. But, Sam, go ahead and roll for me some damage. It should be on your sheet. What kind of damage you do for an unarmed brawl attack. It's probably under the attack part of the like mechanics or actions. And if that means you have to re-roll it, go ahead and re-roll it. But we know it's a success.
Let's see. 1d3. Let's see. How do I roll that?
And is there also a damage bonus?
+0 apparently.
+0.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't.
No, with a strength of 75.
I don't know.
Let's
Unarmed
see.
brawl attack. I'm looking at my. Let's see. Under mechanics, I see unarmed brawl attack. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's wrong.
If you go to your character under secondary attributes, it should say damage bonus.
It's in the investigator tab, right after strength, dex, power, con.
Okay.
They'll have your movement rate and damage bonus.
So I
Damage
think it's
bonus
a
is
D4.
1d4.
So yeah, so you're gonna roll 1d3 plus 1d4.
All right, so there is 1d3, 3, and then 1d4. Wow. Sorry.
So that's 5 points. Let's see. Anton, you were healed back up to 12, so
Yeah.
that brings you down to 7.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a hell of a hit. As a matter of fact, so Sam, the moment he touches your arm, it feels like a hot poker. It feels like pure hate. It feels like anger and vitriol is shooting right from the point of where he touched you, shoots right up your arm and straight into your heart. You want nothing more than to strike him. You do, and you land a blow straight across his jaw. Not breaking it, but doing a serious amount of damage. Anton, you actually think you might even hear something crack. You don't, but uh, you land a really good hit across Anton's face. Sam, you are currently suffering from haphophobia. That is a fear of touch.
I was imagining, I don't know if I got a delusion the way Rick did, but I was imagining if I did, that I was flashing back to that time in the south of France when I first saw a thing in the water with the tentacles. And I imagined that the touch from Anton was like the tentacle reaching up to grab me and pull me under.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yep. Okay, let me just make sure my notes are all scattered and all over the place. You immediately hear an awful sound, something that mixes between a buzzing, this is everybody, a buzzing and a screaming noise emanating from one of the two standing creatures. You can see that he's holding something in his hands. It's an odd shape. It's almost uh, like a book in shape and size, but obviously not a book. It's got strange designs and shapes all over it. There's a sort of a glow to it, and you can hear the sound sort of emanating from that. You see the other one that's standing seems to be wielding something that looks very much like a rifle or at least a large gun, almost like an elephant gun. So it's got a strangely large, almost comically large barrel on the end of it. He seems to be leveling it at the entire group. However, from this strange book like apparatus that the first one seems to be holding, you see a curtain, almost like a drape was being drawn shut directly in front of all four of them, but not in front of Larson. Almost sort of on top of him, practically, with the way the other two are crouched down. Um, if you can bear with me just a moment. So one of the things I did not have an opportunity to do is rearrange my notes. So we're doing a lot of Control F and scrolling. All right, hold on one sec here. You hear coming from the room behind you and just a little bit down the hall from the study. You hear a sound not like a roar or a hum, but you hear a sound that sounds wrong in more subtler ways. At first, there's a thin and distant whine just at the edge of hearing, like tinnitus after a sudden silence. It rises and falls in irregular pulses, never settling into a steady rhythm. Beneath it comes a wet, clicking vibration, as if hard insect mandibles are being worked inside of a metal throat. The air seems to fill with a layered chorus of tones, high, glassy notes that shimmer and then slip abruptly out of tune, overlaid with a low, resonant thrum that you feel more in your chest than in your ears. The sound seems to crawl, moving from one side of your skull to the other, making it difficult to tell where it originates. The sound is not constant. It adjusts itself, tuning and testing and aligning. The sound starts to recede, but not because it's stopped. It seems to have moved inside. There, you hear the wind through the trees outside. You hear the strange, like you're acutely aware of the sound of the wings flapping, even though you can't see the creatures behind this black curtain. But there's no sudden snap. There's no blackout. There's no clear boundary that's crossed. Yet none of you are in the house. We're going to start with Anton.
Okay.
So if you don't mind some... Oh boy. And I just lost it. Now this is awkward.
I think that's what he's saying, getting up off the ground after the hit.
If only we had your doctor here to help you. Ah, okay. Anton.
Yes.
So again, if you don't mind a little bit of exposition.
Not at all.
What you remember first is not the cold. It's the wrongness of the sky. It's 1916. You're in the Imperial Russian Air Service.
No.
No?
No, he served with the U.S.
Oh, okay. You're with the U.S. But you are part of a patrol bombing run over a stretch of the Eastern Front, so devastated that even from the air it looks unfinished. Trenches look like half-erased pencil lines. Forests are reduced to black stubble. You're in a two-seat aircraft where there's a pilot and you're acting as the co-pilot. On your lap is a wicker basket full of petrol bombs. The aircraft groans as you descend, canvas wings snapping in the wind. The engine's rhythm is familiar and comforting in its misery. The pilot rolls a little bit to the left, and you reach to the outside of the aircraft and drop a petrol bomb on the enemy. One bomb drops away, and then another, and then another, and that should have been the end of it. But instead, the sky listened. The engine noise thinned, stretched as if drawn through a narrow throat. Wind stopped behaving like wind. The propeller still turned, but it no longer felt connected to forward motion, only to effort, like rowing in place. Then the horizon folded. Not visually, at least not at first. The sensation came before the sight. An awful vertigo, as if distance itself had shortened. The sun appeared closer than it should have been, and far too large, its light strangely flat, casting no proper shadows. Your instruments begin to betray you. The altimeter spins down, then up, and then stops entirely. The compass needle bent, curved, bowing towards something unseen above the aircraft. Your goggles start to frost over, not with ice, but with a fine crystalline pattern that pulses faintly like veins. And that's when you heard the sound, a choir of tones, impossibly high and impossibly low at the same time, vibrating through the struts and wires of the plane. It was not a sound carried by air. It resonated directly inside your skull. Each tone felt precise, intentional, and measuring. You looked down, but the ground no longer resembled land. The battlefield below repeated itself in concentric patterns, trenches looping back into themselves, forests appearing where forests had already been. You see yourself flying over the same shattered farmhouse over and over again, but each time at a slightly different angle, as though the world were trying to decide which version was correct. Then something moved in the clouds above you. Not a shape, though. A gap. A section of sky where the blue simply failed to be blue. Through it, you glimpsed depth that had nothing to do with altitude, a vastness arranged in angles your eyes could not hold. The tones intensified, harmonizing. You understood without knowing how that the petrol bombs were irrelevant. You were the thing of interest. The plane lurched violently. Control cables slackened. You could feel the pilot pulling tight. The engine started to scream, but not in failure, in protest. And you remember your hands bleeding where the controls cut into them. The secondary controls cut into them as you fought for descent. The crash was mercifully incomplete. Snow exploded upward, wood shattered, canvas tore. And you remember tumbling and then the sensation of being held, suspended for a heartbeat too long before darkness claimed you. You woke up in an army hospital. They said you had been unconscious for 2 days. They said your injuries were inconsistent with the wreckage. But no one could explain why your flight jacket was dusted with the fine gray residue that did not melt when warmed, or why your teeth ached whenever the sky outside the ward was clear. And later, when you returned to your belongings, you found something new in your pocket, a scrap of paper, covered in lines and curves that hurt to look at for too long, drawn in your own hand. You've never been able to recall making it, but sometimes when engines drone overhead or the wind hums just right, you can still hear the tones returning, as if something far above the cloud remembers you and wonders why you did not stay.
Whoa.
Another one, a second here. Marseille never slept during the war. It merely pretended to. Sam, you remember the harbor at night. Oil slick water reflecting fractured lantern light, the smell of salt, coal smoke, mixing into something uniquely Mediterranean and uniquely wartime. Even now you can recall the sound. Ropes creaking against pylons, engines idling too long, men speaking in low, careful voices that carried guilt even when they carried nothing else. You were Corps of Intelligence police back then. No uniform, no acknowledgement, just papers that opened doors and questions that made men nervous. Winifred Pepin stood beside you on that quay, coat collar turned up against the mistral wind, cigarette glowing like a distant signal lamp. She was always calm in moments like this, and you trusted her because of it, and because she noticed things that you did not, patterns, inconsistencies, the way men lied without meaning to. The tip had come from a German double agent who claimed to want out. There was a U-boat lurking offshore, waiting for nightfall. Officially, it was planning to slip into the harbor and torpedo a transport ship bound for Salonika. That was the version that made it into the reports. That was the version that everyone agreed to remember. But you and Winnie knew better. The sub wasn't there to destroy anything. It was there to deliver something. You remember slipping aboard a harbor tug under borrowed names, the water black and thick beneath you. The U-boat surfaced like a thought rising unbidden, sleek and wrong against the civilized geometry of the docks. Its crew worked quickly, silently, unloading a single crate. Too small for weapons, too heavy for munitions. The moment the crate touched the pier, you felt it. Not fear, displacement. The air around the docks shifted subtly as though the harbor had momentarily forgotten where it was. Sounds echoed incorrectly. Lights refracted at odd angles. A dock worker laughed at nothing, then stopped abruptly, confused by his own voice. Winnie went pale. "That's not meant for this world," she said quietly. The device inside the crate was never fully visible to you, not directly. It resisted attention like a thought that slid away whenever you tried to grasp it. Brass and stone, perhaps, or something grown rather than built. It pulsed faintly, in time, with nothing human. But the two of you acted fast. Sabotage, misdirection, fire on the water. A story fed to the right mouths, and by dawn the U-boat was gone. The crate vanished into an intelligence warehouse that officially never existed, and the transport ship sailed safely under escort. The harbor returned to normal, mostly. For weeks afterward, dock workers would report dreams of walking into the sea without drowning. Men swore buildings had moved overnight. One customs officer resigned after insisting that the sun rose in the wrong place for 3 mornings in a row. Winnie transferred soon after. No explanation, no goodbye. And that was the last time you worked a case involving things that bent reality rather than breaking it outright. And now, standing in this place, you realize with a cold certainty the sound that you just heard coming from the other room, the way it eases memory into place. It's uncomfortably close to what you heard that night. As if this is not the first time something has reached into your past and tried to make it present again. Brick. Bellow Wood never left you. Even before you knew its name, you remember the smell. Wet earth churned into mud. The smell of cordite hanging in the trees. Blood warming the soil faster than the June sun ever could. The forest was too small for what happened there. The trees too thin, too close together, like ribs around a lung that couldn't breathe. You were there with the 4th Marine Brigade when the order came to advance. There was no elegance to it. No cover worth trusting. Just shattered undergrowth and machine gun fire snapping branches apart as if the woods itself were trying to kill you. Men fell. Men screamed. Men kept moving anyway. At some point, hours, maybe days into it, you lost track of which direction was forward. Everything became noise and motion and reflex. You remember firing until the rifle burned your hands through the stock. And that's when the shouting started. A Marine beside you, mud-smeared, helmet crooked, was babbling between bursts of fire. He wasn't praying or panicking. He was arguing with something you couldn't see. "Don't you see it?" he shouted. "It's folding. The ground's folding all wrong." You tried to ignore him. Men said strange things in battle. Fear did that. But then he grabbed your sleeve with desperate strength. "They're still moving," he said. "The dead don't stay down here. They reach." You turned to shove him away, and that's when you saw his face. His face. Half of it was gone, sheared clean by machine gun fire. One eye stared without focus. His jaw worked uselessly, flesh torn and slack. There was no way he could still be speaking, and yet he was. You recoiled, heart hammering, convinced exhaustion and terror had finally broken something in your mind. You told yourself it was the smoke, shock, noise. But then you felt the ground move. Hands, gray with dirt, fingers clawing, pushed up through the churned earth near the fallen. Not corpses rising, but reaching, grasping at boots, at ankles, and anything still warm and living. You broke and ran. And later, when the fight was finally over, when Bellow Wood was taken at cost, no one wanted. When Bellow Wood was taken at a cost no one wanted to name, you heard the German's word for you whispered among the prisoners and the wounded alike. Teufelhunden. Devil dogs. They said it with fear and something else. Recognition. You never spoke of the hands. You never spoke of the Marine who shouldn't have been alive long enough to warn you. But sometimes when your boots sink into the soft ground, you feel a moment of resistance, and you remember the certainty that something beneath the soil knew you were there, and that it wanted to keep you. Larson, despite what's physically happening to you, you seem to wake up. You still feel that headache. But it's Christmas, 1921, just 2 years ago. Christmas came early that year, or maybe it just felt that way, because Agnes always knew how to make a place feel warmer than it was. The Tipsy Dog Lounge smelled of pine garlands and spilled whiskey. The windows fogged from laughter and breath. Agnes Frisbee stood behind the bar with her sleeves rolled up, hair pinned, just so, pretending not to watch the door every time it opened, pretending better than anyone else in town that she didn't worry about you. She tolerated what you did. It was good for her business, after all. Bootlegging, running liquor, slipping through places that you shouldn't. She never liked it. You're better than this, she'd say. Not angry. Tired, maybe. I wish you could find honest work, Larson. You always said you would. Someday. That night she handed you a small parcel wrapped in brown paper and twine, and inside was a silk handkerchief, soft as breath, scented faintly with her perfume. Something floral and clean that didn't belong anywhere near your line of work. In one corner were her initials, AF, and in the other, a small embroidered flower. So that you remember me, she said lightly. You already did, and you still do, all the time. What she didn't know was that you had bought her a ring. Not fancy, just right. Something that meant forever without saying it out loud. You had it with you during a job near Blackwater Creek, not long before that Christmas. Things went bad, fast. Shots fired, shouting, boots scrambling over wet stone. You felt the ring slip from your vest pocket as you ran, and you heard it before you even saw it. The faint, betraying clatter of metal against rock. You turned just in time to see it bounce once, and then twice, and then stop near the water's edge, and then something moved. It slid out from between two stones. Not a hand, not quite. A jointed thing, pale and slick like a cross between a claw and a tentacle. It moved with purpose, quick and sure. It wrapped itself around the ring, paused almost thoughtfully, and then pulled it down into the earth as though the ground itself had opened just enough to accept it. And you stood there, frozen, heart pounding, telling yourself it was fear or bad light, maybe exhaustion. But then the shooting started again, and you ran. You never went back to Blackwater Creek. So now in the warm glow of the Tipsy Dog, With Agnes standing close and the handkerchief folded carefully in your palm, you thought about the only other thing in your pocket. Your father's pocket watch. Heavy, honest, the last thing you owned that ever truly mattered before her. Your thumb brushed it once, and then twice. But you didn't give it to her. Instead, you smiled awkwardly and said you'd been busy, that work had been rough, that you hadn't managed to get her anything. And she nodded. She always did. I understand, she said. But you could see it, in the smallest tightening of her smile, that she understood too well. She knew it was the work, the part of your life she hoped you'd someday leave behind. She tied the handkerchief around your wrist before you left. Don't lose it, she said. And you haven't. Sometimes you'll catch the faint scent of her perfume or feel the weight of your father's watch. You wonder whether that thing in the creek took more than just the ring. Whether it took the moment you might have said yes and buried it somewhere you never meant to reach. Granville. The summer of 1918 was unbearably hot. The kind of heat that pressed in on the lungs and made even the smallest movements feel unnecessary and indulgent. Windows stayed open at night, but the air never moved. The city felt exhausted, breathing shallowly, waiting for something to pass. Irene grew ill quickly. At first it was only a cough, an apology murmured into a handkerchief. Then the fever came, and with it the smell of sickness that clung to the room no matter how often you washed the sheets. You remember sitting at her bedside, holding her hand as it went from warm to frighteningly hot, then near the end, strangely cold. She tried not to frighten you. She always tried. You remember your last birthday before she fell ill. She had smiled in that tired way she'd adopted that year and pressed a small package into your hands. Inside was a metal flask, solid and well made, the kind meant to last. And along its side, neatly engraved, were the words, "Keep me by your side, always." She laughed softly and said it was practical. You knew better. When she died, it was quiet. Too quiet. A shallow breath, a pause that stretched too long, and then nothing at all. You sat there afterward, listening for something to prove the world hadn't simply slipped past the moment without noticing. It was later, you're certain of that. The room dim, the curtains barely moving. You were half asleep in the chair beside her bed when Irene sat straight up. Her eyes were open. Her grip was sudden and strong. She reached for you and screamed, "Don't go into the house, you fool!" The sound tore through you like broken glass. But then she was gone again, collapsed back into the sheets, and still. You tell yourself, and you've told yourself for years, that that didn't happen. The grief and exhaustion finally overwhelmed you, that dead people do not rise and speak warnings. They buried Irene a few days later. You and your daughter, May, stood together as the earth was filled in. May held your hand so tightly your fingers ached afterward. You kept your eyes on the coffin until it disappeared completely, afraid that if you looked away, something else impossible might happen. That night alone, you found the flask in your pocket. You don't even remember putting it there. The metal was warm from your body. The inscription caught the lamplight just right. Keep me by your side, always. And you have done so ever since. And now, standing inside Hemlock House, or hearing that warning echo faintly through your thoughts, you wonder, not for the first time, whether the strangest part of that night was not what you saw, but the possibility that Irene was right. The air feels like it churns around you, almost like a slight current growing into an eddy. And all of you find yourself back in the room with Larson on the ground and the creatures not standing there, but you can still hear the curtain gone, and you still hear the sound emanating from the other room from that odd device. What do you do?
How cognizant are those of us who were affected by the failed sanity roll?
You're at this point, from having this weird flashback memory, you think of that as an anchor. So it's almost like you feel like it anchoring you back into this place, and you have your wits about you again for the moment. So, Granville, no more fish at the present.
Until next time, fishies.
Smash the thing. Smash the thing in the other room. It's gotta be doing this.
I don't know. You smash me.
Is that what my hand hurts? I'm sorry. I was back in France and that thing was in the water. It was reaching for me. But look, we gotta get Larson out of here.
Larson.
Larson's on the ground. He is still out of it, but you guys can go and try and wake him, maybe apply some first aid, something.
Oh, I don't want
Someone
to touch
else
him.
touch him first.
Did you say, is he still fully like hooked in? Is there like stuff plugged into his head right now?
There's nothing actually plugged in. There is a cylindrical object near his head with a triangle
Near his
shape
head.
on the side of it with 3 odd symbols, shapes, something at each point of the triangle.
And is he like strapped into anything? Is he restrained in any way?
He is not.
He's just unconscious.
Unconscious with the back of his head wide open.
With the back of his head wide open.
Yeah,
Yes,
no fish, but skull.
Right, no fish. The back of the head is in fact still wide open. Everybody saw that.
Everybody saw that.
Everyone
Nobody
hated
liked
that.
that. Exactly.
I'm gonna go to the other room because I don't want to touch anybody. I don't want anybody touching me. So I'm gonna go towards the machine. I kind of look apologetically at Anton, and I kind of nod my head towards his gigantic wrench, which is not a euphemism.
Let me go ahead and put the other tokens down just in case you guys need to show me where you are going. It's not in any particular order right now. I'm just kind of... So feel free to move those around if you'd like. So Sam, you're going to start heading over to the study. Anton, Brick, Granville, what are the 3 of you doing?
Following him to the study.
He's going that way. I'll see what I can do because I have first aid. I'm not a doctor,
Okay.
but I have first aid, so I'll see if I
Yeah,
can help the actual doc.
I'll also help.
Granville's
Yeah,
not.
that sounds great.
Granville's a PhD. He's
That's
not
right.
a-
We don't have the actual.
Yeah,
doctor.
no, I'm not a doctor.
He's the doctor of style.
That's right. You're the
just
other doctor.
Play one on
I just play
TV.
one on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you two...
Granville has like a doctorate in physics or some shit. He was an academic.
Yeah.
Why don't you two go ahead and give me first aid checks before we go to the study?
How much
Nice.
It looks
for
like
a hard
maybe
success?
put a couple points in that.
Oh, this is great. I mean, we got a double success. This is fine.
Hard success.
Larson, maybe one of you happens to have smelling salts or something on you. And you,
Well, I've got this flask I always keep by my side, right?
that's perfect. Larson, you
Anton,
suddenly,
just open his mouth, tip his head back a little bit for me. I'm gonna try something here. Poor
Larson,
little-
you feel a warming liquid, a not unfamiliar warming liquid, pouring into your mouth.
Do I wake up or anything?
Oh, you're awake. You're face down. Your head still hurts. You can feel. So with the first aid roll, what happens is between the two of you, you've been able to use whatever first aid items you happen to have, or even find around the room. That is like pieces of cloth, or even maybe ripped off a piece of your shirt, whatever it is that you guys decide sounds or looks cool, and have managed to uh, basically bandage up the back of his head, maybe stop it from bleeding. And Larson, you are back up 1 hit point, and you are fully awake and conscious. Although the front of your shirt is a little bit wet with whiskey. And you see Gran.
What the hell happened? Did I miss a payment?
I think you ordered the payment.
What do you mean? What the hell happened to this place?
Things, memories, more things. He keep yelling about fish.
Events, my dear boy, have transpired. I believe all of us today have seen and experienced things that, at least in my case, I buried somewhat. And yes,
And so you all were here with me, though, right? In Aunt Eliza's house, everything was
We came to
not like
Eliza house.
this.
Yes. We kind of left but came back, and then left but came back.
I love how unclear that is, but still accurate.
yeah.
It
I feel like nearly every response he gives is that moment where you want to like correct him and then stop because you can't.
It's cryptic.
Why?
Yeah. Sam and Brick, you walk across the hall, and as soon as you find yourself in the doorway of the study, you see the strange device making its strange, awful noise. All four of those creatures are currently standing right near it.
Well, shit.
Well said, Captain. Well, shit.
If the both of you could roll dodge for me.
More of a Ford guy, but all right. Be an extreme success. I dodged
Yeah, I
behind
can't
Brick.
get out of my own way. Yeah. I was too busy laughing at the dodge joke.
Brick, you hear, both of you hear something that sounds almost, the only way I can really describe it is sort of like a 1950s ray gun, honestly. It just kind of sounds like that. and you see a bunch of concentric rings come flying out of the weird blunderbuss type of elephant gun thing that the one of the creatures seems to be holding and still pointing at you, pointed right at the doorway as soon as the two of you walked around it. Uh, Sam, you were sort of on your toes already and were able to dodge out of the way. Um, Brick, you have taken 4 points of damage. And the way it feels is honestly, you've been in a lot of scraps before, and it feels exactly like someone hit you with a gloved fist straight into your sternum. So it's sort of like that hard thud that seems to knock you back. Well, it doesn't knock you back. It would knock a normal man back, maybe an inch or two.
New plan. Let's get the hell out of here.
I like this plan.
Gentlemen,
With
we are
that-
leaving.
Oh,
You-
I
You
was
guys
going
hear
to
that
say,
from
I
the other
wonder how
room.
the others are getting on. Poorly,
Oh,
it
grab-
sounds.
Grab your shit and say goodbye. We're out.
Show me using your
Considering the
tokens.
state I'm in, I agree.
Show
We'll
me
figure out
using
what the hell's going on later.
with your tokens. Show me about where you guys are headed, and without actually
Oh,
going
this way.
outside, or at least as close to it as possible.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out the
Okay.
map here. Oh, that's
I
the
would
front.
be making sure. I'd be grabbing onto Larson, making sure that he's not falling over or anything.
Yeah. Fucking move the token, you stupid. Tack.
My gun is out, by the way.
Okay, good to know.
Mine's in my pocket, but I can take it out.
Okay, your gun is ready
Yeah.
as well.
Caught off guard there, but yeah.
Did I have mine? I will pull mine as well.
I feel like maybe Granville like has a moment where everyone else has pulled their gun out already. He's like, oh right, of course.
The
Just whenever whatever it is that we're going to be shooting at shows up, let me know.
Oh, you'll
You
know.
You'll know.
Bastard hit me like a sledgehammer.
Do I have to
There's-
wrench this door open?
as the 5 of you approach the door, a faint ringing fills your ears. Distant, metallic, like someone striking a tuning fork at the bottom of a well. The room around you blurs, the colors thinning into pale threads of light. Your breath catches in your chest as gravity loosens its grip and then releases you entirely. All of you find yourselves rising. You rise up and somehow through the roof of the house. You find yourself rising and rising up through the clouds and out into the night sky. Up and up you drift, weightless, the world below shrinking like a dying ember. Clouds peel away beneath you. The atmosphere thins to nothing. And soon there's only the cold black tapestry of space, pricked with silent, indifferent stars. Your body no longer feels like your own. It's carried or drawn by an unseen current. The earth becomes a pale sphere behind you, and the moon slips past, and the darkness deepens. You seem to be flying, but moving at an incredible pace. You approach and sail past a small globe of mostly red and orange in color, and then a gigantic ball of what appears to be swirling gas of various colors, circling around a massive spot on its surface. This disappears behind you as you approach a pale gold world with cloud bands moving across its surface and a flat ring encircling it. And then nothing. Until a smooth pale cyan orb flies past, or you past it. And then another small globe of deeper blues with visible cloud streaks. But then you seem to slow down. Ahead, a tiny point of dim light grows. slowly, impossibly slowly, until it becomes a world. A distant frozen sphere, small and forlorn at the edge of all creation. You feel the cold long before you touch it, a chill that seems to settle into your thoughts rather than in your bones. You descend, and your feet come to rest on the surface of a cracked, glassy ice surface. The horizon is dark and jagged. And there, ahead of you, rising up like a tombstone of a dead star, is a pyramid. It's monstrous, vast beyond architecture and beyond logic. Its sides climb up into the black sky until your eyes ache from trying to comprehend its scale. Its surface shimmers faintly, the color shifting in ways your mind struggles to recognize. But hundreds of shapes move in the air around it. They glide rather than fly, insectile yet somehow mechanical, their forms bending in the thin light. Titan gleams, wings hum, tendrils trail like antennae tasting the void. They drift in lazy patterns across the sky, each one a nightmare silhouette of crustacean limbs and buzzing organs. None of them so much as glance at you. These are the very same creatures that you found in the other room. But now there are hundreds of them. You hear a sound, a soft chittering, like thousands of mandibles clicking in unison, and beneath it a deeper resonance, almost musical. A humming, strange and icy, repeating a sound that is painfully close to a word you know you should not hear spoken. Ni, Yar, Lat, Hotep. And the sound gets louder and the words come out faster. Ni, Yar, Lat, Hotep. Ni, Yar, Lat, Hotep. And it continues over and over. Ni, Yar, Lat, Hotep. The name coils through the air like a whispered blasphemy that doesn't belong. And before you react, the ground lurches beneath you. Something has grabbed you, a force vast and merciless, and you're yanked upwards with such speed the world becomes a smear of gray and black. The pyramid shrinks. The creatures dissolve into specks. The frozen world falls away below you as you are hurled backwards through the void, through time and through everything, racing back to the faint blue spark of Earth. And the rushing grows louder. The stars twist and stretch. Your vision fractures into impossible colors. And then with a gasp, you're back. Back where you began. Back in your fragile human bodies. The cold of that distant world still seems to cling to you, and the echo of that whispered name refuses to fade. You have a change of scenery? You're back at Hemlock House. Oop, we're on the wrong floor. My bad. Okay, that's the correct floor. You all find yourself at the doorway to Hemlock House, bedecked in Christmas decorations, just like the way you left it however long ago that was. You hear you hear Aunt Eliza calling from the direction of the kitchen. Boys, where did you go? What do you think?
Am I still injured?
Oh, you still feel the pain. So, yes.
We're right by the door still?
Fuck no, turn around and walk out the door.
You're going to walk out the door?
Yeah.
Okay, what's everybody else doing? Oh, I can put your icons on. Just to make it a little easier.
That hasn't loaded for me yet. But, oh, no. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I'm getting the hell out of here.
I don't know if that's how it goes, but I like it.
We're not
It
gonna
is
fool
now.
twice.
How it goes now.
That's how it's going.
Speaking of going,
No, I am a
Fool me
little bit
once,
hungry.
I'm getting the
though.
hell out of here.
You see her at the
Stomach's kinda
end of the hall.
Hmm.
What's that? Say that again?
I said I'm a little hungry. My stomach's empty.
Oh. You see her at the end of the hallway. She's holding that roast goose that she went back to the kitchen to reheat. And she says, and she's got mitts. I just finished reheating this. I thought this was what was wrong. Is everything okay, boys?
no, some of us have fallen ill and we need to get to a hospital. A friend here has sustained a serious injury. We just need to get him checked out. My
Well, that,
Pennsylvanian friend.
well, that sounds serious.
Yeah.
Let me go put this down. And she disappears around the corner. Is this when you walk out of the house?
We move now.
Has a chance. Cheese it.
Yep. Yeah, right. And we're off.
Where's the car?
You step out of the house. Outside of the house, still covered in beautiful decorations for Christmas. Snow beautifully falling. Everything just seems a little too picture perfect. And you see a man. He's shorter than you expect. Broad and fur-clad. His beard thick and curling. His red coat, old-fashioned and travel-worn, as if it has seen more winters than should be possible. His boots crunch softly in the snow as he stops beneath the eaves of the house and looks at you with bright, knowing eyes. In one gloved hand, he holds a snow globe. Inside it, from what you can see, impossibly detailed, is the house itself, Hemlock House, caught in a swirling storm identical to the one around you. Tiny lights glow in its windows, and the snow never stops falling. He turns the globe once, thoughtfully, and then he speaks. Tell me, his voice warm and amused. What do you believe? And he looks at each one of you as you start to walk towards him. In his mouth is a long-stemmed pipe. You know what? I've got a handout.
I believe I want to leave.
Yeah, I second that. I do believe we need to get the hell out of here.
Oh shit, no, I don't have a handout. Yes, I do. No, I
Dare
don't.
you tease us like that?
It's not a very good one, so I'll I forgot to upload the better one, so I'll just have to show you later.
Unacceptable.
So, Brick, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
With his free hand, he pulls the pipe stem out of his mouth. And he asks you a question, Brick. What is real? And what is merely convincing? He lingers at the globe and looks back at you.
These injuries I'm feeling are real.
Well, injuries are only temporary, unless they're of the mind. But even then, all wounds can be healed. He looks at the rest of you. And do you, at this point, looking directly at Larson, believe in me?
I don't, at this point, I believe none of this is real. I think you're one of them monsters that we've been fighting lately. I have no idea what the hell you look like, but none of this is right. I wanted it to be, and it isn't.
For a moment, the wind seems to still, and he takes a drag off of his pipe. And when he exhales, think of Gandalf. It creates this what looks like a locomotive moving across the sky in front of you, itself billowing smoke out of its pipe. And he smiles, not kindly, not cruelly, but like someone who knows a secret and hopes you might learn it too. He slips the snow globe back into his pack. You are stronger than you think. Stronger than this place wants you to remember. Don't waste your strength fighting the creatures inside. That is a struggle you cannot win. And he taps his gloved knuckle against the side of his head and says, but this false snow, kind of gestures to everything around him, this borrowed memory, this clever little prison of dreams, that can be broken. And he leans a little closer, lowering his voice a little bit, sort of conspiratorially. Wake yourselves. You cannot wake yourselves until you break the dream. Break the device. Step out of the story that they are telling you. And he straightens. And you hear a jingle behind you from the roof of the house. And he smiles, an unmistakable smile. After all, Christmas is for believing. But it is also for knowing when a tale has gone on long enough. The wind surges. He reaches up. He puts his pipe back into his mouth, and he reaches up with his gloved hand, touches his nose, gives you a smile, and with a sound that can only be described as tinkling, like when frozen branches move together in a slight breeze on a cold winter day. He's gone. His footprints remain, but they too are already filling with snow. But something hums uneasily behind you. What do you do? Still try to leave?
We're asleep? You said we were asleep. We gotta wake up from this. I believe it. I don't believe that we've been seeing the stuff we've been really seeing. We've seen a lot of weird things in our investigations, but this is beyond anything we've known before. We gotta wake up, and
To get up.
Unless somebody's got an idea, I'd like to ask for an idea roll.
Yeah, go ahead and
So-
give me an idea roll if no one else has an idea. But yes, Brick.
Because they said to get out, we have to smash the device. But we could only see the device in the version of the house that's abandoned. So how do we get to that reality?
Maybe it's the green fella. The fella.
The big green man is the device.
Yeah. Maybe if we take
That
him out.
guy-
Did we meet the large man in green in the same area where the device was?
Yeah.
Indeed.
That could in fact be it.
Well, I don't know if we can trust that guy that we just talked to. He said something about going against the story they're trying to tell. So maybe if we do things that we're not supposed to do, that'll shatter the illusion.
Like what? Can I do that idea roll now?
They're trying
What
to
do
make this look like some. Go ahead.
what do I do for the idea roll?
I don't think you need to. I think
Okay.
based off of what you guys have just discussed, you're on the right track.
Well, I like your aunt, but I am not opposed to popping her in the face.
That is not my aunt.
That's what I'm
She's been
saying.
gone for 15 years. They're messing with me.
But old Saint Nick there said we shouldn't bother fighting those things and wasting our energy. Selling our head.
I mean, is she one of those things?
Well, if they're trying to sell us this happy Christmas, maybe we ruin it.
Maybe I got matches. Flip my lighter open.
Okay, what next? Burn the whole place
Wait.
down.
Where did you guys say you saw this thing? This device?
In the study.
Study.
Use machine I can break, maybe? If I can fix, I can break.
Then I think that's where we're going.
That's back inside though, isn't it?
Hang on a second.
It is.
It is, and I'm afraid we're going to have to steel ourselves against that.
Wait a minute. That room had a big fireplace in it, right?
Yep.
Can we use that fireplace to our advantage? I'm trying to look up at the roof and trying to figure out if we can get up there or... I mean, it's Santa Claus, right? Go down the chimney? Or if not us, like 30 pounds of gasoline?
How much the car have in it?
Oh, we'll need enough to get out of here.
Need enough to get to a gas station is what we need.
Christmas Eve?
I understand your trepidation in all this, but do you really think it is wise to climb roughly 3 stories to get into the top of a chimney, to drop a gasoline can down, only to come back down to light it?
I just want some TNT and just make it go away.
All right, you guys got a couple ideas and plans.
Oh, that seems good. Boy, there's windows. We could just maybe, shoot through the window.
There's a window. There's a window right nearby Brick, even.
On the porch.
There's one right on the porch.
If we look through the windows, what do we see?
You see the big green guy. He's obviously enjoying himself with wine and various dessert items. Gorging himself on whatever seems to be around him.
Hey, this is a dream. Why don't we just imagine weapons like grenades? Do that? You just think of it and have a grenade. Start thinking real hard.
There is no smoke.
Like,
Everybody else can see Brick sort of looking like he's having either an aneurysm or the greatest poop in his life. No grenade appears. I like it though. It's a good thought.
Well, it appears for now we must act within the confines of the illusion we find ourselves in.
So
I
back
say we
inside.
march in there and we show that guy what's for.
Brute force. I'm on it.
You are the brute force. That's right. All right, yeah, I'm with you. I don't know what this is gonna
Maybe
do.
somebody else go first this time.
Storm into the house. Study.
All right, let's see. Just a quick health check on everybody. I have 9 hit points.
6.
8.
7.
See, it's the blood loss that's giving me courage.
Granville, you're up front.
That sounds improbable.
The old wiry guy sends him in.
They always say if you're an old man who's in a line of work with a high mortality rate or something.
When young men die, career where young men die early. We fear no. Yeah, something like that. All right.
Oh, Brick's the biggest.
Yeah, like
Send
he was
him
bad.
first.
I'm bigger. You go first.
Ah, damn, that seems to have backfired on me.
I'll go first.
Sam's the bravest.
And the dumbest. I
Yeah.
I pushed
Last
the door
time I
open.
went first, it got me.
Push the door open. I level my pistol at Christmas present.
Okay. Hang on, give me 1 sec here.
Hands up or I shake the package. Sorry, Christmas present.
Ah,
Because that's not where my mind went.
Listen, no, you know what? No, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. I was like, there's no way that sentence ends in some place I'm gonna be proud of.
Okay, let me try and find something here real quick.
sorry, my token doesn't update on both the app and the web thing that I have open for the audience. So I have to move my token
Oh, it
twice.
does. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's very strange. I mean, considering it should be doing it for
Yeah, that is odd.
everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else moves for me. And Tony, you really back that? There you go. There you go.
I am trying to find something here, but yes, you do find yourselves at the doorway to the study, and you do find the large green fellow, the ghost of Christmas Present, as you have described him, sitting on that giant throne, surrounded by wine and food, and he notices you and says, "Ha!" And he's got a little bit of purple, kind of staining his lips a little bit as he pulls a goblet away from his mouth. Have you come back to join me for a feast?
Only of lead if you don't get out of here.
I don't know why that reminded me of Home Alone for a second. Near the doorway, before you even walk in, again from the direction of the kitchen, you see Aunt Eliza again, hands folded neatly at her waist. The light behind her seems to flicker. She looks at each of you as if committing your faces to memory, slowly and carefully. She smiles, a tired-looking smile. "Ah, I was hoping you'd come back," she says softly. "Not just for Christmas, Larson, but to sit a while and to rest." Her gaze kind of drifts around the hallway at you, and she sees that you're about to enter the study. She looks back behind you at the dining room and sees all the food that's still there. "It's strange, isn't it? how a place can hold on to people long after it should have let them go. She looks back at you, Larson. You can see her eyes are shining. I know you can't stay. I think I've known that from the start. But I'm glad I got to see you again, even if it's only this way. And she reaches out, but stops just short of touching you, and says, when you wake up, remember that you were loved here. That once this house was full of warmth and laughter and people who waited for you to come home. But that will have to be enough. Her smile holds for an extra second, gentle, looking unbearably sad. Go now, before it becomes too hard to leave. The room seems to grow quiet around her and around you, as if the house itself is listening. She begins to fade, like a lamplight at dawn. Her warmth seems to linger just long enough to make you wish it could have lasted. So, wine is it?
I look back at the other
I
guys.
think at that point, Larson's just going to scream, "Damn it!" And he's just going to run in and start guns blazing.
We have. Oh, no. Okay. So I didn't add him as a token or a proper NPC. So we're gonna do basically like this. So Larson, with your gun drawn, go ahead and give me a firearms check, please.
Didn't think I was about to pop fake Santa today, but here we are. I'm gonna. Oh wait, you can't use luck on these. Damn.
Wait a minute.
I
I thought you could.
Yeah, you can for that. You can't for like
For
contested or
Right.
sanity. That's what it was.
I
Yes.
thought you could do it on any fighting rolls.
Nope. You
Okay.
can. You can use it on luck. You can't use it to adjust damage. You can, but you can use it to either get a success or even increase your success rate if you're close enough to say like an extreme. You can't use it to get a critical though. That's one thing that holds true.
I'm gonna go ahead and burn 2 so I can hit the target 40.
All right. So what is that? 2 more points with luck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll damage.
From
For me.
77 down to 75.
So everybody who's got weapons drawn. So I believe that was Larson, Sam. Was that also Brick?
I'm pretty sure any of us who had a pistol added out.
We all did.
Okay, so everybody who's got a gun at this point, in this turn order that you see exactly as it is, you can go ahead and, well, after Larson does his damage roll, we're going to go in turn.
There it is. Is it gonna roll the? Okay. Hold on, what?
Oh, did it do
Just the whole thing.
it did the whole thing.
Uh,
Damage looks like it was just a 3. Oh, did you roll, you rolled a 1 on damage, so it's a 1d10 plus 2, I believe. So 3 points of damage.
I see. Okay.
Okay, next up, Anton, you're armed with a wrench at this point, right?
Yeah, because I didn't think because he has a carbine, but I don't think he has it with him.
Well, go ahead and give me a luck check.
Actually, what I was gonna. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Well, unless there's something else you wanted to do.
Nah. Luck. No, the actual roll of the luck. Come on. Ooh.
Yeah. So with that luck roll, yeah. So not only do you have your carbine, you have it out and ready to fire. So go ahead and take a shot.
Yay!
It's 8
Bam.
damage. Now, as you guys are taking shots at this big green guy, I mean, you can see the bullets going in, and it's definitely not just wounding him. Like you can see, like just a spatter of blood, and you can see it recoiling in both pain and horror, just roaring out, "Ah!" Sam, you're up next.
Is he in exactly the same spot that the machine was?
Yeah,
All right.
yes, yes.
I'm shooting him. I said I'm shooting him. Ooh. Oh! All right, spinning the luck.
Close. Okay, 1 point of luck.
Almost out of luck, guys. 14 points. So I hit,
Wow.
and I'm just going to click that again and see if it gives me... It does not give me the damage roll. Damn it. Let's see. Anybody have that handy? What die that is?
Yours is
Handgun?
The handgun is 1d10.
yours is probably 1d10.
If it's like mine.
2, yeah.
I'll just roll a d10 then.
I think that's what it has been.
Ah, nice.
7
5.
points.
I don't add anything to that, do I?
Plus 2, so I already added that to get
Okay.
to a 7. All right, and Morgan.
Yes, I too will fire my handgun. Oh no, Morgan his shot is way wide.
Yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, it goes like sails past him and goes right out the window opposite you. And Brick.
All right. Oh, yeah. I also did not get it.
You have the luck? Oop, that is, what's that difference of? That's 19. That's a lot, but it's up
19.
to you.
Yeah, no. No,
Your damage would have been 12.
maybe I should. I have a lot of luck.
Lucky.
Yeah, but 19 lucky, maybe? Yay.
I don't know how much luck you have, so
75.
it's a lot.
Yeah,
Unlike,
I can.
Chris.
It's true. I mean, he burned up a couple. I guess I'll do that as well. No, I didn't want to roll the luck.
Right, yeah. So go ahead and subtract 19 points off of that, and you've got 12 additional points of damage. With that shot, let's see here. Let's see if I can do the correct one. Can't remember exactly what positions everybody was in. So I'll just make an approximation. Feel free to change this as you see fit. that last shot, there is an odd sound, not quite screaming, not quite buzzing, but in front of you, you see one of those odd creatures essentially get blasted into pieces, and a puddle of, it's almost like an iridescent purple goo on the ground as he stands directly in front of the odd device. The shot of which, that brick you just took, passes straight through him and into the crystalline center of the device. Bear with me one moment. The device seems to sputter, not spark so much as, well, let's call it a spark. It emits a shower of electrical, again, we'll call it sparks, but it looks more liquid than it does electrical, but it seems to react exactly like sparks. Before they even hit the ground, they seem to dissipate just like sparks would. This one seems to float quickly directly towards you, Brick. And as right after you take your shot, and you've got an opportunity here to, again, either fight back or, you do have a gun in your hand. You can't shoot the gun to fight back at this point. Because he, at this point, is trying to reach all the way around you with all of his strange, we'll call them appendages. So you can choose to fight back, you can choose to dodge, you can choose to do some sort of special maneuver. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll fight back, I think.
Okay, go ahead and give me a brawl check. Fighting brawl check, I should say.
Oh,
Now, I will tell you that if you want to succeed, if you wanted to spend the luck to succeed, in this case, you would need an extreme success.
yeah, that's not happening.
Okay. So just like you guys, like, it still takes me a moment to really try and figure out how the hell to click on things. I'm constantly searching around for what things do and where they are. Okay, so this thing wraps all of its weird appendages, every single one of them, around you as it seems to be floating or hovering above the ground. And not only that, these weird tendrils seem to be almost like large cilia hanging or poking out from all of its appendages, seem to be jabbing into your skin, and you take 4 points of damage.
Lord.
Got any left?
I believe you're down to 4 at this point.
Yeah, I'm down to 4.
This one here moves into a position. Chris, you have an opportunity to dodge if you would like. As this thing levels the strange, we'll call it a gun, the strange alien-looking gun at you.
If I dodge, is it going to hit Granville?
We'll see.
Sorry, Pops. If I dodge.
One problem at a time, right?
Oh, I definitely don't dodge.
Oh, boy.
I really
I
don't
think you might have
dodge.
walked into it.
Hey, shoot me!
Yeah,
I'm
no.
protecting Granville.
That's right, you really don't dodge. That's about
Told
as
you.
not dodgy as you can not dodge.
Told you it was more of a Ford man.
And just like the way Brick experienced it before, you feel this large thud in your chest as you hear this like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo kind of sound, and these weird concentric O's fly out from the end of the gun and smashes directly into your chest. You take as well 4 points of damage.
I have 5 left.
The other creature moves over to the side of where the odd device is and seems to be manipulating it. And all of you can kind of hear that sound you've been hearing again and again as it sort of powers up. And you know what that means at this point. You know that something's about to get funky. However, and I think I keep forgetting to switch the turn order, but that's all right. Larson, it's back to you. And feel free to move your tokens around.
Should we run?
I would like to move around to this side, kind of peek around Slade and try and shoot for the one who's manipulating the device.
I'm not your cover.
Okay, yep. Perfect. Use Sam as cover. Okay, got it.
I've already seen he could take a bullet.
Now, something I
Or
did...
a weird
Oh, sorry, go
circly
ahead.
ooh thing.
So the thing I was going to equate it to is, I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of Godzilla movies. There's a couple where he has a son. It's an awful character. His son shoots. I mean, in America he's called Gadzuki. In Japan he's called
I was
Minya.
Gadzuki.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he shoots these O's
Yeah,
out
he
of
is
his
a
mouth. And
terrible
that's,
character. I agree.
that's what I'm trying to describe. So imagine that, only not from the mouth. It's from this weird blunderbuss elephant gun thing that looks
Imagine
more
instead of being
organic.
stupid, it's actually pretty cool.
Yes.
Wasn't that what they shot
I've
the
seen
stun
some
ray?
Nintendo games where they
Princess Leia?
use.
Yes, very much.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that.
Larson, sorry, what were you saying?
I've seen some Nintendo games where like the gun shoots and a little O shoots out.
All right, something I forgot to tell you guys. So you can shoot more than once. You can shoot up to 3 times with all of the weapons that you guys have. However, and something I did incorrectly the last time we did this, each roll, including the first roll, will be with a penalty die. So you could choose to fire up to 1, 2, or 3 rounds if you would like, using a penalty die in each roll. Or you can just roll once and not have a penalty die. If you are within point blank range, in this case this would be maybe 2 squares away, then you would get a bonus die. So now that this one guy is right on top of Brick, just so you guys know. So Larson, you're aiming at the one that's manipulating the device.
Yes, because if we go to Funky Town and they're hostile, it probably won't end well. Crack 3 shots.
Okay, go ahead and give me 3 attack rolls with a penalty die. For each-
Penalty. First one. Lame.
And again,
Second one.
you can apply luck to any of these rolls.
Oof.
Did you get the
Oh,
same
yeah.
roll?
Yeah, but the damage is different, so.
Yeah.
That one you could maybe swing.
That one's close.
I'm gonna go ahead and burn 8.
Burn 8 luck.
Yeah.
All right.
That
Burn an
takes me down to 67. Burning 8 it on the beetle.
I didn't know they were in town.
Only the one.
All right, so you've got 5 damage on that.
Looks to be, yes, sir.
Yeah, you that first 2 shots, bang, bang, just kind of missed. The third shot definitely strikes true, just barely, as you know. You were lucky, so to speak. Nicks it right in the, I guess if you want to call it a shoulder, nicks it right in the shoulder. Does a decent enough amount of damage, but the thing sort of pauses for a second and continues to do what it's doing. Anton.
Warring between probably shoot it. He'd probably only shoot once. Shoot at the one on Brick, I guess. Or wait.
Yep. You can
Do any of
shoot
them
at
look
it.
hurt?
It's with a pen. Do any of them look hurt? Yeah, the one that was working on the device does.
Actually,
Well, there's one dead, and then there's one that is
yeah,
working on the device.
the device itself.
Mhm.
Does his would this be anything that Anton's mechanical repair, like he could figure out, like, you know, shoot it, destroy it, you know, something like that? Would that
Go
help
ahead
with
and
it?
give me a roll that you think might be appropriate, like mechanical repair or whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially, look at your skills list, whatever's high.
Yeah. Oh my
So-
god.
Again, you have an opportunity with a skill check to push the roll, or you can spend luck in this case. It's not that much of a difference. Your target was 84.
Yeah. So
But remember, pushing a roll, if you fail again, usually comes at a cost.
yeah. Yeah, maybe if he's just, because I want to push the roll. If
Well,
know,
okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a narrative for it. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I was going to say, if you did want to spend luck, that's only 9 points to succeed.
Yeah, but I was burning through them last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a tough way to figure out how to approach this differently.
Heck with it. I'll just burn the luck.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You kind of take a look at this thing, even though you're completely unfamiliar with it, seeing the result where the strange liquid sparks emanated from when you were suddenly thrust into this, if this is reality, this reality, after Brick took that first shot, you know you need to be shooting directly at the crystalline heart of the device. If you look at the handout, I believe you can kind of see it. It's the one called the device.
I do not have one called the device.
Oh, you don't see one there? I can try to reshare it.
I have it.
No, there it is. Because my thing wasn't full screen, so it just didn't. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I want to try actually shooting crystalline structure.
All right. If you are to shoot specifically at that, that would be with a penalty die. And again, you can shoot up to 3 times with your gun.
Nah, just. Do I? Yeah, hell with it.
Off by
He
18.
can
Okay.
be an unlucky SOB. I'm coming after you, Slade, with your luck score. So yeah, hit. So it's a
Yep, I can't remember the damage on it, so go ahead.
2d6.
Nice. Go ahead and roll that for me then, please.
One at each end.
It is one at each end. All right, I just need to check on something. Okay. Yeah, no, you take a shot at this thing, and not only do more of these weird liquid type sparks come flying out of the thing, you look like you've taken a chunk out of the strange crystal type device, or crystal type heart of the device. It is still thrumming. It still seems to be doing its, like, we'll call it a power up sequence. But it does sort of, it reminds you of an engine that's having a difficult time starting. So you can hear it sort of change. The pitch changes. The odd sounds and the humming and music that you hear seems to change a little bit. Actually, a lot of it,
Okay.
now that I redo the math. Sam.
I too will shoot at the device. I'll take. Let's see, can I do that from here?
So there'd be one penalty die to hit specifically at the crystalline structure. So if you take more than one shot, there would be an additional penalty die for each of those attacks. Or if you just shoot once, just the one penalty die.
I'm going to shoot once. Hopefully. I have to declare that ahead of time, right? I can't. Yeah.
Correct.
Why can't I do it here? 6 more luck.
The man with no luck.
I have 8 luck left to hit. And that's 1d10.
So you're spending the luck?
Oh yeah, I spent it.
Okay.
Seeing Anton, I'm like, God, what the? I see like the thing break on. Oh, okay.
Oh, I hate to ask,
What?
but that was with a penalty die. So
Oh, Oh. Oh yeah.
yeah, you only did a single roll.
Huh? No,
So
I didn't.
go
No,
ahead
I only
and
took one
do-
shot. I only took one shot.
Right, the one shot has a penalty die on it though, since you're aiming at the crystalline part.
Oh, okay.
So the best way to do it would be to roll a second time.
Yeah. So that would have been a
Okay,
hard success.
so the worst one would have been an 88.
Yeah.
So the 88 burned through the luck. You still hit it. 9 points of damage. Perfect. That still works out. Yeah, you take a shot at this thing. If my math is right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get back to exactly what happens in just a second.
Oh, I forgot to change the title, didn't I?
All right, Morgan, you have an opportunity to do something before I describe what happens here.
Sure. Well, I feel like Morgan would, seeing that shooting at the crystal seems to be perhaps having some effect, I think he would also attempt that.
Okay. go ahead and give me a shot with a penalty die.
Yup.
Just as a reminder to everybody, there is a giant bug-type creature currently hugging Brick.
That's a brick
Yeah.
problem.
We're dancing.
That sounds like a
Oh.
Brick.
Sounds like a next round problem.
Rick will
Okay.
remember that.
Brick did not like that.
All right.
I think we're all hoping if we break the crystal, the bugs will go away.
Roll. Good dice. Good dice. Good dice. No.
Wow.
No.
I don't
That's-
think I don't think it started with enough
Yeah.
luck to burn that one down.
Yeah.
Right,
no.
so-
I don't have enough. Impossible. Couldn't.
So with a
luck
lot
my
of
way
the
out
other
of that one.
rolls, you're not a fighter, man. You're a thinker.
It's true. Can we do something that involves library use? I think I put points into library use.
You're shooting into a library. Does that count?
So yeah, you take the shot and your hands are unsteady. You take a
Anything
look
with
at
history? Could history something? Sorry.
you take a look at the device and you're trying to aim it right at the crystalline thing, and you're thinking to yourself, "This isn't reading books. This is dumb." And then as you look at the crystalline thing,
Be in a library right now.
it turns into a salmon. It freaks you out just enough that you're like, "What the?" And your shot goes wide. Brick.
Yeah, I'm dancing with a
are
bug.
dancing toe to toe with a creature. What would you like to do? Right now, both of your arms, you can move them in order to, say, brawl or do a maneuver. At this point, there's no way to really be able to succeed in shooting unless you can convince me otherwise.
Can I try to break free?
Sure. Yeah, we'll call that a special maneuver. For that case, you're going to do a brawl check, and you're going to compare it to its brawl check as it tries to maintain its hold on you. So basically, whoever gets the better roll.
35.
And I got a regular success as well. However, your roll is better.
Yeah.
So, with some wrestling, you can feel this thing trying to squeeze itself around you. You can actually feel this thing trying to fly backwards with you. Maybe it's your size, maybe it's your weight, maybe it's your sheer strength. It could be because you're fighting back now. This thing loses its grip, and it's right in front of you still, but it no longer has a hold on you. And at this point, noticing that there's something odd with the device, or at least it's what you can assess from the way it seems to turn the top portion of what you can only be described as its head, it starts to move back towards the device. And this is... You see the other one do the same. Now we'll describe the last shot that was taken on it. The moment the blow lands, the device lets out no sound, only a violent shudder in the air, a vibration that sings in your bones. The glowing crystalline core, once shifting with impossible inner light, suddenly freezes. Its facets align into a rigid, unnatural geometry, and then fractures like thin ice. There's a crack of color, colors with no earthly name, splitting through the crystal. Each fissure spills out a flood of luminous motes, scattering like frightened insects. The chitinous ribs around the core begin to curl and blacken, withdrawing like dying fingers. And then the humming stops. Not gradually, not fading. It just simply ceases, leaving behind a silence so complete that it feels predatory. The whole machine begins to fold inward, The fungal tendrils shrivel, shrinking into themselves. The metal organic surface ripples as though breathing its last, exhaling a gust of frigid air that chills the room and carries a faint scent of mushrooms. And then suddenly, it's a blinding flash. The motes of light pulled from the crystal swirl together in a tight spiral, flaring into a burst of brilliance that casts sharp angular shadows across the walls. The Christmas illusions, still lingering at the edges of perception, begin to glitch. Snowflakes seem to freeze in midair, hanging motionless. Even though you're in the abandoned house, you see for a moment warm candle lights from other parts of the house flickering and then disappearing, replaced by dark rotted boards of the house. You even, for a moment, whoever's closest to the dining room, you see for just a brief moment out of the corner of your eye, the entire table of Christmas dinner flickering between bounty and dust-covered ruin. And with a final convulsive jerk, the crystalline core collapses completely, disintegrating into a cloud of shimmering dust that rains down quietly before fading away as though it was never truly there. The entire structure seems to implode upon itself, leaving behind a collapsed mass of crumpled, lifeless tissue and warped metal. The pulsing lights fade one by one until only the natural gloom of the decrepit house remains in its place. And then there's a deep, distant thud that rolls through the floorboards. A deep, resonant bass that you feel from your feet directly into your bones, as if some vast power has been severed beneath reality. There is a loud sound of glass breaking all around you, so loud that it's difficult to hear anything else but glass. From your vantage point through the windows in the study, you can see what looks like a wall of glass just absolutely shattering into thousands, millions of pieces all over the place, just showering and cascading down and then turning into snow and disappearing. The creatures themselves, the one that's carrying the large blunderbuss type weapon, the other creature that's carrying the large book-like object, you see it rather, manage to touch its controls on the thing. And there's a large black orb that appears directly in front of you and in front of the window. You hear the sound of more glass breaking, but this time it's much closer, sounding directly like the glass of the window behind the strange orb that appears in front of you. And just as quickly as the orb appears, the orb disappears. And you see none of the creatures. For a moment, nothing else happens. Then each of you feels a sudden, blessed steadiness return to your thoughts, as though a long-held breath has finally been released. The device seems to be dead. The dream now over. What do you do?
We leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We
we're
don't-
probably stumbling
Yep.
over each other on the
Yeah.
way to the door right now.
Yeah. I know investigators should probably take a sample of this thing. I'm so freaked out right now, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid to linger.
Like, is there anything left behind at all, like shards or anything, or did that thing like full implode into?
Seems to have folded in on
Nothing.
itself, and the longer you sit there and stare at it, the more you see it slowly seem to be melting into that strange puddle of iridescent purple, just like the other creature did.
Yeah,
Nope. Nope.
Oh, yes, I suggest that we make ourselves scarce post haste.
You probably Probably don't want to touch whatever the hell that is.
I don't want to touch anything. Let's go.
You hear Sam call from the car. How do you start this thing? Who's got the keys?
All right, as you make your way out of the house, like the last embers of a fire settling into ash, the visions, the distortions, the painted Christmas glow, all of it slips away. By the way, I wanted to show this handout real quick since you're leaving. The cold is real now. The silence of the old house is real. The weight of your own breath is real. Everything seems to vanish from the walls, leaving behind only rotted timbers and drifts of fallen plaster. The grand garlands and twinkling lights collapse into nothing more than wind-torn ribbons and broken glass. The scent of roasted goose and sugared apples fades into the stale odor of long-abandoned rooms. Yet something lingers, not the illusion, but the memory of it. And as you gather yourselves, bruised and exhausted, the winter wind presses through the cracked windows with the soft sigh of a world indifferent to your suffering. And yet in that cold wind there is almost the faintest brush of pine needles, and the faint echo of a carol hummed by a voice that once belonged to someone you loved. In the entryway there's an old beat-up console table, the kind of thing that someone leaves by their door to put their keys or mail. You find a piece of paper, old, yellowed, and brittle at the edges. It's in a familiar handwriting, Larson. Folded up, seemingly untouched for years. Do you take it?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna reach into my jacket and see if I can find that block that I picked up earlier.
Yeah, you still have it. Very real in your hands.
I'm actually gonna take the block out and leave it there.
Okay. And as you...
And on
Mhm.
the way out, kind of telling to himself, whisper, "Later, Auntie."
And on that piece of paper, it says, "My dearest, I do hope you can join me for Christmas Eve this year. The house feels so empty these days. I should like nothing more than your company, and perhaps the promise of one more joyful night before winter settles in earnest. I know the world grows darker, we all feel it, but the lights of Christmas remind us to hold fast to what is good, kind, and true. Come, if you are able. With love, Aunt Eliza." The letter ends there. No final flourish, no hint of the tragedy that would soon follow. Just an invitation that was lost to time, yet found again waiting for you on this haunted night. Outside, snow, for real this time, begins to fall. Not the thick, choking storm that was conjured by the strange machinery, but soft, honest flakes drifting from the gray December sky. The kind of snowfall that hushes the world and makes even ruin look almost peaceful. A distant church bell rings midnight, and for a moment, the sound is warm. The five of you step out of the house together, leaving the shattered device, the alien machinery, and the fading ghosts of impossible dreams behind you. And the cold air burns your lungs, but it feels clean and true. At the gate, just beyond which your car is parked, you cannot help but look back. The old house stands as it truly is, broken, lonely, and nearly consumed by time. But as the snow settles across its eaves, you see a flicker, perhaps a reflection or a trick of the moonlight, or something gentler. A single candle glowing in an upstairs window. And for just one heartbeat, it shines steady and warm. But then it fades, and the snow falls quietly. And somewhere in the distance, you hear that caroler's tune drifting across the night, thin, wavering, but unmistakably joyful. And thus your Christmas Eve ends. With grief, yes, with the weight of what you survived, but also with the knowledge that not all things lost are gone forever. That kindness can echo even across the void. That a letter might arrive almost 20 years late, but somehow right on time. And I want to thank all of my players for indulging me in letting me bring you through a haunted Christmas adventure for the Call of Cthulhu. I'm John. I've been the Keeper of Arcane Lore for this scenario. Hopefully this was okay.
As we're driving
And,
down the road,
yeah.
Slade says, I think I'm just going to stay home for Easter.
I like it. And then fade to black. With some sort of non-copyrighted Christmas music playing over.
I feel like maybe it would become like a running thing with this group of adventurers. Like certain holidays are coming up, and they're like, "So, what are you? I'll be locking myself into my room as per usual. What are you doing this Christmas?"
Oh yeah, got a new shotgun for this time.
yeah.
Anointing myself with holy water.
Well, Christmas Eve, I think I shall spend, cleaning, disassembling and cleaning my multiple firearms, and
I like it. But yeah, no, thanks.
checking that my ammunition is dry.
Front door.
Thank you, all of you, for celebrating Christmas the Call of Cthulhu way. And if anybody is watching, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're not watching, I think you missed out. So back to CT Avis with some final words.
Yeah, this Sunday we should be back with Kingdom of Steam on the Oddlat channels. We're back there on Twitch and YouTube. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on YouTube. And then Monday, I will continue to be running the Weird West prologue adventure. This Wednesday night campaign will be taking next Wednesday off because it is Christmas Eve, and the following Wednesday after that off because that's New Year's Eve. We will be back after that in the new year. And John, did you want to keep running Cthulhu, or did you want to switch? Because we kind of left the previous thing hanging.
We did, but we can talk about that. So we'll either finish up that adventure or D&D. We'll see. Chris, you and I will talk about it after hours. I'm
definitely gonna have some time over the Christmas time here off, so I can work on stuff. But with that said, we'll see everybody in 3 weeks with something on this channel. Have a great holiday if you celebrate, or whatever holiday you're celebrating, and